Hello students, I am Safia, your science teacher. Today we are going to continue the lesson respiration in organisms. I hope everyone have done the experiment or the homework which I have given to know the number of breaths in a minute. Okay, now let us move on to next activity which we are going to learn today is how much air in our breath. Okay, so we have learned that in 1 minute how many breaths can be taken and what is the use of air and all those. That means we have learned about breathing. Now we are going to see how much of air is present in our breath. Okay, how much of air, like how much of water can be taken in a water bottle, we can measure. In the same way we are going to learn how much of air in our breath. That means this is also going to be an activity. How much air in our breath or in your breath. So here as it is a activity, you have to follow the format. What will be the first one here? Aim. To know how much of air I breathe in a maximum breath. How much of air I breathe in a maximum breath. That is our aim. After aim we have to write materials required are the apparatus. So the materials required for this are one syringe bottle. One injection bottle. It is one injection bottle which is of 100 ml and 2 liters of water bottle. 2 liters of water. Any bottle you can take. And then you can take a tub or a bucket, water and rubber tube. So these are the materials required for doing this activity. 100 ml of injection bottle, empty injection bottle, 2 liter of water bottle and then tub or bucket, water and rubber tube. Now what you have to do? First of all, we got the materials required. We have to make the apparatus for this. We need to make something here. What you have to do means first of all take a bucket or a tub. I am going to take a bucket. In this I am filling some water. This bucket is filled with water. Okay. Now in this I am going to put water bottle. So how we have to use this injection bottle and water bottle? I will say. So take injection bottle which is of 100 ml. We have here capacity, right? And this is 2 liters of water bottle. What you have to do, this water bottle you have to fill with water. But not directly, you have to measure it by using this injection bottle. For example, here as it is 2 liters of water bottle. Okay, I have taken 2 liters of water bottle. Okay, I will beaker again think. Just what I have taken some container, think it is of 2 liters, that you can understand how we have to fill the water bottle. Assume this as your water bottle and now I have taken 100 ml of injection bottle. Fill that 100 ml of injection bottle and add water into this water bottle. Now up to here the water has occupied the place. So this is the 100 ml. Here you have to mark as 100 ml. Now once again you have to add, that is 200 ml. In this way, you have to go on. That means after adding 100 ml of water, you have to mark it. After adding 100 ml of water, you have to mark. In this way, you have to fill the water bottle up to the brim. You know, brim where we keep the cap, till there it is called as brim. So up to the brim of the water bottle, you have to fill the. We are going on adding the water by using this injection bottle 100 ml, 100 ml. In this way, you are filling up to the brim of the water bottle. So up to here, it will become 2000 ml. That means 2 liters of water. Now what you have to do, we have taken the bucket or the tub, you can take as your wish. In this you have to invert this water bottle. Invert means you have, for example, this is the cap of it, this is the water bottle. Invert means you have to do like this. Okay, you have to invert the water bottle. How you have to invert? You have to fix the cap, screw the cap for that. Then you put that water bottle into the water like this. Okay, into the bucket of water. Now slowly remove the cap. So when you are doing this, what you have to be careful, there should not be any water bubbles in the water, either in the bucket of water or in the this water bottle, because if air bubbles are there means our experiment will go wrong. So that's why what we are doing, we are carefully transferring this water bottle. Okay, as soon as you add water, put a cap, and then they have to invert the water bottle in the bucket. Now you have to remove the cap. We keep that bottle in the water and remove the cap. So when you are removing, air bubbles cannot go into that. And now after that, use this rubber tube. For example, now I am using this water bottle. You see here, this is the water bottle which has water in it. So rubber tube, I have taken one end of the rubber tube should be in the water bottle and the other should be in our hand. Two ends will be, one end should be in the water bottle and the other end is in your hand. This is the apparatus. So you see, we have used all the materials here for making this apparatus. We have taken the bucket or a tub, water, then this water bottle. We have filled water bottle with injection bottle which is of 100 ml, then rubber tube. Now our procedure. This is how completely we have made the apparatus. Okay, take so materials required, then the procedure. Take the bucket. Okay, I am repeating it once again. Take the bucket, fill water into the bucket and invert the water bottle which contains the water and unscrew the cap and put this rubber tube into the water bottle. One end of the rubber tube should be in the bottle and the other end should be in our hand. Now second step of this procedure will be, now you have to inhale the air. How much of air you can inhale? Just to inhale. Okay, you have taken air. Now what you have to do, you have to exhale the air. You have to breathe out the air here, not into the air. You have to breathe out air in this rubber tube. So and one end you have in your mouth, so put your mouth here. Okay, now breathe out the air. How much air you can breathe, that much you have to breathe out here. You have to leave the complete air. Okay, like this you have to breathe out into this rubber tube. While you are breathing out, you should be careful. You should not take the air inside. You have to leave the air outside only in one breath. How much you can do, that much you have to leave. Then second step has completed. Now you will observe that the level of water will decrease in the water bottle. It was up to here, but it will decrease after blowing the air into this water bottle. That amount, the amount of water decreased is nothing but the air. Because here water has been decreased, that means air has present here. So how much of air, that is you have marked already, so you can write that marking. In one breath, for example, you can remove 50 milligrams of air. This is how you have to do the experiment. And this is, we have made a spirometer. This is nothing but a spirometer which is used for measuring the amount of air breath, how much amount of air we are inhaling or exhaling will be found by using this spirometer. So in lung, the person who is suffering with any lung disease or something, they will be advised breathing rate, respiration rate is correct or not. So we have made spirometer and we have done our experiment. Actually this experiment should be done by each and everyone, and you have to find out that whether the number of the amount of air in your breath is same for you and your friend or not. That you have to find out. There will be a slight difference in the amount of air you breathe and your friends will breathe. This was the experiment, how much air in your breath. Now, there is a question for you people. Okay, do you find any difference in the inhaled air and exhaled air? Inhaled means taking in air. Okay, exhaled means leaving out air. Do you find any difference? Okay, let us find out. Okay, you have done this inhalation, exhalation, but you never found any difference. You did not observe anything. So let us do that experiment. Okay, same again. You have to use your fingernail. Okay, this index finger. And this side, fingernail side should be under your nostrils. What you are doing now? First of all, you are exhaling the air. You are exhaling the air. Take how much of air you can exhale? Exhale through your nose. Don't open your mouth, only your nose you have to use. Okay, exhale the air. How do you feel here? Do along with me. How do you feel here? Is it is cool or warm? It is warm, right? Exhaled air is warm. In the same way, now let us take one syringe and do same experiment. Okay, fill the syringe with air, piston, pull the piston, air will be filled. Now use same index finger, fingernail side, okay, under the syringe. For example, if this is syringe, you have to put it here like this. Okay, now I am blowing air here, for example. What will happen here? Do you feel same warmness? No. When you are blowing air, that means when we human beings will blow air out, we will feel some warmness here. But whereas it is from the syringe, it is nothing, it is normal. Then why our air is warm? Let us find out. So to know that, we have one more experiment, that is moisture in our breath. So warmness is nothing, why we are getting that moisture in our breath. So let us find out, do we have moisture in our breath or not? So to that experiment, it is completely relatable, you have also done, but in playing time, okay, you don't know that how it is useful, and that activity you are going to learn in the science, you don't know that, but today I will say what it is. Okay, take one mirror, a clean cloth, okay, so mirror, you have to first clean the mirror with a cloth, clean it wipe it clean with a cloth. Now blow air onto the mirror. Okay, you'll do, usually in winter season you'll be playing, you'll stand in front of the mirror, you'll be blowing air. So what will happen when you blow air? The complete area will become misty, it will become blur, your image will be blurred there. You'll see some moisture will be forming there, right? Now you try to see your face. Can you see? No, our image will become blur, we can't see anything clearly. Now wipe the mirror with the cloth. Okay, take syringe now. We have empty syringe. Fill it with the air. Pull the piston. Air will be filled in that. Now you have to completely remove the air from the syringe. How you have to do? Take mirror and use this syringe and remove the air on the mirror. Like we have blowed air on the mirror, in the same way you have to put the syringe on the mirror and completely remove the air from the syringe. Do you think the surface of the mirror will become blur? No, that is because syringe does not have moisture in it, whereas we have moisture in our breath. Then why there is a difference in the air? When we are inhaling air, we does not have it. What is the difference here? Why there is a difference when we are exhaling the air? Why and what? Let us find out. Discussed our air. There is a moisture present in our breath. Why the air is moist? To find out, to know the answer for these questions, scientists have done experiments. So one of the scientists is von Helmont. Von Helmont. We have learned about von Helmont, right? Von Helmont. John Baptist von Helmont had studied an experiment on willow tree. That all we have learned in the lesson nutrition in plants. In the same way, we have done one more experiment to know what does the air contains. Okay, what does the air contains? Does it contain anything which is invisible, or why there is a difference in the exhaled air? So the findings of this have started by the von Helmont. So von Helmont have done experiment by using a charcoal. Charcoal, you know what is charcoal? Coal is obtained from the fossil, okay. When we dig the ground, coal mines are present, you know, coal mines, Singareni they will say. So we will get coal from the mines, okay, that is, coal is present in the surface of the earth, okay, deep inside the earth, coal is present, that is different. But this is charcoal. Charcoal is obtained by burning of firewood. When we burn the wood, what will happen? It will change into black color blocks. Those are nothing but the charcoal. So who have done the experiment? Von Helmont. Von Helmont have done the experiment by using charcoal. What he had done to this charcoal means he have burnt the charcoal. He have burnt the charcoal. So when he burnt the charcoal, he found that charcoal has converted into ash. By burning the charcoal, he observed that charcoal has converted into ash. And he also have found when he measured the weight of this ash, it is less comparing to the charcoal. So weight of the ash is less comparing to the weight of the charcoal. So by this he came to a conclusion that there is some invisible substance present in the charcoal. which he named as gas. Because there is invisible substance present in the charcoal, there is more weight of charcoal than the ash. He concluded. Who concluded? Von Helmont. Then later on, his experiment, when he found that it is a gas. So the one more scientist is Joseph Black. He studied about this gas but in more detail. In the year 1756, Joseph Black studied about this gas in more detail. He have observed that when he used lime water, when lime water reacts with acids, it produces a gas, and that gas he named it as fixed air. And he studied the several properties of these fixed air. And one of the property of that fixed air is nothing but it converts lime water milky. So you know that when one gas reacts with lime water, it changes it into milky. Which gas is that? It is carbon dioxide. So we know that carbon dioxide converts lime water milky. That means Von Helmont and Joseph Black have discovered which gas? Carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide was discovered by Joseph Black. First, Von Helmont have started this experiment. He did this experiment by burning a charcoal. When he burnt a charcoal has converted into ash, and he compared the mass of both. So when he compared the mass of both, he found that the mass of the ash is less comparing to the mass of the charcoal. Mass means weight. In simple terms, let us say that mass is weight. So when this charcoal and ash, the masses are different. So he came to an conclusion that the weight of the charcoal was due to the formation of invisible substance. That invisible substance he named as gas. Later on, Joseph Black, he studied this gas in detail by using lime water. He observed lime water when reacts with acids, it gives out the gas. That gas is, he named it as fixed air. This fixed air, when passed through the lime water changed to milky. So this fixed air is nothing but the carbon dioxide, because we know that conformation test for carbon dioxide is lime water. Whenever lime water changes milky. Okay, this was about discovery of carbon dioxide. And then one more gas has been discovered. Okay, this is as the reactions, this study about what does air contain has continued from there. So first they have discovered carbon dioxide. Later on, the other scientists also have done experiments. After the discovery of carbon dioxide, nearly 2 decades. After the discovery of carbon dioxide, it took 2 decades to discover another gas. So what is that gas will be going to know later on, but let us know who have discovered the gas. So the scientist Joseph Priestley, already we have learnt about this scientist in the lesson Nutrition in Plants. So Joseph Priestley, he had published a book which has 8 to 9 volumes. So there that book is related to the sequence of experiments done to know what kind of air is present around us. So the name of that book is Experiments and Observations of Different Kinds of Air. So already we know air contains several gases. So what are those different kinds of gases present in that were discovered by and observed by doing different experiments, and they have been printed in this book. So Joseph Priestley have done an experiment to know about the gas. What he have done for doing the experiment, he have selected a candle, burning candle, and a bell jar. He enclosed this burning candle in a bell jar. That means he covered this candle. Air should not enter. Okay, he burnt a candle and he covered the candle with a bell jar. Like for the covering will be done for the cakes and all. You can see in movies they will be covering with a glass thing. That is bell jar. Candle gradually put off, flame will put off after some time. Okay, Then what he have done? This was the first step. Then second step, in the same experiment, he have kept a mice. He have kept a mice. So mice also, the candle was burning again. He put on the candle. Okay, he lighted the candle and kept mice, and both were covered with a glass jar, bell jar. Then he observed that slowly, gradually, this burning candle will stop burning, and this mice started feeling suffocated. And as a result, finally, this mice will die. So then, now third step, he have introduced a plant here, mint plant. He introduced mint plant in the bell jar. He kept a mint plant in the bell jar, which contains this candle and a mice. So mice was taken a burning candle, it was light out, and then this kept into the bell jar. Then he observed that even after some time the candle was going on burning, and the mice is also alive. It is not feeling suffocated, it does not die. So by this experiment he came to a conclusion, he did hypothesis that this plant is producing something which is helping this candle to burn and this mice to survive. So he said that there is some changes going on in the components of air, and as a result he said that there is a substance which is present in the air and which is helpful in survival of animals, human beings, and this candle, if something should be burnt, then it will burn in the presence of this gas. So now he could not finally give out the name of that. He shared his observations with one more scientist. That scientist is nothing but Lavoisier, none other than Lavoisier. The scientist is none other than Lavoisier. Lavoisier, we have discussed about Lavoisier in the first lesson, food components. So he is called as the father of modern science of nutrition. So he helped in discovery of this gas also. Joseph Priestley, he had shared his observations with the scientist Lavoisier. So Lavoisier have also done the experiment, and finally he came to conclusion. He was doing a series of experiments on the same to know which gas is responsible for burning of candle and the mice to survive. So he came to a conclusion, and he named that gas as oxygen. That means after the discovery of carbon dioxide, after 2 decades, oxygen has been discovered. And this oxygen, the word oxygen was taken from the Greek language. The meaning of oxygen is acid former. So why they have taken this Lavoisier thought all the acids will contain oxygen. So this is how discovery of carbon dioxide and discovery of oxygen has been taken place. So that means when we are inhaling and exhaling, we are inhaling several gases and exhaling several gases. So what is this process called as? Breathing is of 2 types that we will be learning later on. So this was today's topic. So you students go through the study what I have given the activity, and as well as learn or listen to this lesson carefully and properly. Thank you.